log.
And then
entire log
realized
thing or
when
whatever.
they hit it, big splash and it disappeared.
Oh,
And then all of a sudden it came back a little while later. So they told my dad about it. And so my dad come down here with the rowboat and he found this great big huge pipe laying in there with a bullet hole in the side of it.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, that
So
was the,
it was dead. But what they saw was all these spoons that were in it. I forget, there was a huge
Yeah,
number
well,
of
they-
spoons that were in it.
and they had
hooks.
hung, yeah, because his dad hauled it back and nailed it on, and this is what I remember as, I'd have probably been 5.
Yeah.
Of course, it got kind of ripe and it was nailed on a great big piece of wood on a fence down in the shade by the trees in front of our property. Now, you know, when people used to drive up there and go and take a look at it and take pictures and stand beside it and take pictures.
With all these hooks?
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, I think most of the hooks had been taken
Taken
out. I
off.
think my dad took them out.
Oh,
and
he'd be
cleaned
recycling
them up
them.
and resold them again or
But
something.
no, the.
What size was, that was a big fish,
Oh,
right?
it was a big,
It was
like
over 4 feet long.
Yeah, it was,
Wow.
yeah, it was humongous. That's what, we even went to the library and searched all through the microfiche trying to find out if there was something written up about it.
And the newspaper?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, yeah,
So anyways, then they moved it because it pretty well
Trying
dried
to sit
out.
back
And
down.
people were poking at it with sticks.
Yeah.
So my dad hung it beside behind the barn. There was a hook at the back where we used to hang animals to
Butcher them.
butcher. Anyways, he hung that up there. And by that time, the smell was pretty well gone because it was a dried corpse.
Yeah.
But it was high enough, people couldn't reach it. And like Dad said, he could keep an eye on it.
that
And
was
it hung there for a long
I
time.
was probably about 52 because I don't remember coming, because we wouldn't have been able to afford, we lived in East Calgary, well, actually across from the Colonel Walker School,
Okay.
and the house is still there. I've gone
Oh,
back
gosh.
and taken photos of it. And so we started building the house in Forest Lawn in, I think, my brother was born in 53, so it would have been somewhere, it would have been the early 50s that fish was, because I'm going 48, yeah, 49, 50, 51.
It got blown
52.
down in a high blizzard.
Oh,
And it
gosh.
ended up on the ground, and the old dog, he took and buried it. And we found it in the spring, and it was half eaten.
But it was, like, that's all I remember as a kid, this humongous fish.
But isn't that funny that they saw something shiny with some color?
Yeah.
Well, I guess probably had a scope or something.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Maybe.
yeah, who
Well,
knows?
yeah, I was gonna say back then, would they have?
Yeah.
I just remember that unbelievable smell hanging on the fence down there.
I
You
bet,
could
yeah.
get within 50 feet of the thing and you knew where it was. You didn't even have
Flies.
to look.
Oh, gosh.
Because the last
You
dog.
know, because they
Yeah.
float up, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, and the last dog we had, he would go down to the
And
lake
rub
shore,
it.
and he'd roll it, and he'd
Yeah.
come back to the house, he was white here, and I'd look at him and go,
Scales, eh?
oh no, it was brown.
Oh, brown.
It was
Oh, the
brown.
dog was white. Oh,
Yeah, the dog was white, and he'd done a couple of these, you know,
Oh, yeah.
in the fish, and you know what it smelled
Well, I
like.
think anybody who has a dog who lives on the lake knows that if there's a dead fish, that dog is going to be rolling in that
Oh,
dead
and
fish.
it's just,
Of
that's
course,
what.
we used to go down and collect them off there because in the sporting
Good
goods.
fertilizer. Pardon me?
No, and for
Oh.
sporting goods,
Oh.
you need to grow maggots.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my job.
Oh, that
Nobody
was
could
another
grow
of our
maggots.
jobs, growing maggots.
I developed a stomach.
You
that
got
I could-
all the best jobs, eh? Oh my gosh.
I think we should call this all the best jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Who had the
When I
best
went to
jobs?
work for Strikers, the first thing he said to me when I went to work for him, Floyd was his name,
Okay.
and in the barn, they had a pig barn.
And I don't think there's anything worse smell than
There was
pig.
about this much manure
Oh,
in
God.
each of the stalls, and he said, start on this one and clean it out.
Oh, Dave.
I mean, that thing was wild. I mean, I had handled a lot of maggots over the years, and I shoveled that stuff in there. I spent a whole week in there. I must have moved 10 ton of manure out of that barn. And I'm thinking to myself, you lazy person.
Oh, God.
They just moved them from one pen into another one, like they had
Oh.
like 60, 80 pigs.
In that, and that was the pig barn, was
That
it
was
that
that
the
long
barn?
one that
The one with
finally-
the little tiny roofy
Yeah.
thing
Yes,
that went across
yes.
the top. I
And
wondered-
inside there was a
Well,
rail
it
in
was
there.
there for, yeah,
You
years
know
and
how
years.
they handle meat in a butcher place?
Yes,
There was a
There
rail
was a
with a
rail
hang.
inside, and there was a 40-gallon barrel, 45-gallon barrel, half of it, or 2/3 of it,
yeah.
was on a stand with rollers. And there was a rope on there, big rope with knots on it. And that's how you'd pull the thing. And when you went out the end of the barn, it was like 7 or 8 feet. I couldn't even reach the bottom of the thing. I could barely reach the rope to trip it,
Yes.
to dump the manure into the manure spreader. And I could fill that manure spreader in one day by hand,
Oh my
moving
gosh.
all this manure.
Oh.
And then I went to work for Lester's down here, and the same thing for Lester's.
But you got $5 a day for that.
I got $5 a day for that.
Did you get more at Lester's?
Yeah, I did actually. I only stayed there for one day. I walked in there and I saw all that manure, and there was like 60 feet of barn that had
And you went-
manure in there this deep, and I'm going, nah, this isn't for me.
Aren't you
I
glad-
worked for the day, and I said, to hell with it, I'm finished.
You got
And
better
so,
things to do.
but when, yeah,
Three
when,
guys I worked for, it was all the same in every place.
Isn't that crazy?
And I'm going,
Why didn't they do? Yeah.
and I'm going, you raise animals in this? And then I went to work for Bill Laycock, who had 2 dairy cows.
Yes.
And when I started there, he got a 3rd one, so I got 3 cows to milk, and I hadn't done much milking prior to that. And you only have a certain period of time you can milk them, because if you don't, they end up with milk fever.
Yes, yes, yeah, I know that.
So you milk these things about as fast as you can. Well, I'll tell you, did I ever develop powerful hands after a while? I could take a can or anything like that and go, because it's so much hand muscle
Yeah.
and arm muscles. I mean, the
And
Four.
holding your arms up and doing that at the same time, that's a lot.
And that
Yeah,
cow was
well,
dancing all the time, and he had, what the heck they call them? Holstein.
Yes,
Yeah.
tall.
And they were young ones. They had,
Oh.
only had little tits on like this.
Okay.
3 finger jobs. And then I went to work for another guy that had jerseys, and they were older jerseys. They had like this, you can
Oh,
get
yeah.
both hands on there.
Yeah, they'd be like
I could milk 3 gallons of milk in about 20 minutes. Just,
on the jerseys, yeah.
and the old cow, he'd be dancing because I was going so
They'd be feeling so good, right?
Well, then, of course, we used to have to tie the tails back because
Yeah.
they would get
Oh.
manure all over the tails, and you get to sing right around your face and go,
I know, yeah.
and the boss would come in and start ragging on them going,
Ah,
don't make me mad.
oh, gosh.
And of course, back in a lot of those places, there wasn't much for wash facilities.
Oh, no.
When I worked for the,
I hear music.
I worked for the LK Ranch, and I had 3 cows I used to milk. And
Yeah,
I'd start at 5 in the morning milking, and then I'd gain at 6 o'clock at night I'd milk.
yeah.
Anyways,
Oh my
I got pretty
gosh.
fast, and we had 60 pigs, about 200 chickens, and 1,000 head of cattle.
You forgot to tell your story about your rabbits.
Oh God, rabbits. I got 2 rabbits when I was a young kid, as a pets. My dad could see money. It was
Just
going
2.
ka-ching, ka-ching. It ended up I made cages for all of them, and at one point in time we had like 200 of them.
Oh, my gosh.
My mother kept books on them, so which one to put with which, and we
Yes,
used to
so
bring
you didn't
in
have
other
any
ones
ones
because
with
we
3
were breeding
ears
them.
for it.
Yeah, yeah.
We were
in
selling them
breeding.
to pet shops. We were
Oh,
selling them to
really?
Safeways. And my job was to kill them all.
Oh,
Nobody in the family had the guts to kill them. So anyways, and I had to do all the skinning and gutting because my sisters just, they'd get sick instantly. And even my dad, you know, he'd walk in there and go, can't stand the smell.
but he didn't mind having rabbit stew, I'm sure.
Have you ever eaten rabbits?
Oh, yeah, I've eaten
Okay.
rabbit. Yeah, I'm not particularly, bunnies aren't.
They're very dry
Yeah,
and they're very dark and strong.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean,
It's
I
not
lived
bad.
on wild meat. I've eaten every kind of wild meat there is.
Yeah, because we were saying the other day the amount of things that we've tried. Who was, well, it was Curtis. And he said, would you like to try antelope sausage? And I said, I hadn't eaten antelope sausage for over 50, or antelope,
Yeah.
for over 50 years, they said my dad had shot one
Oh, gosh,
out Brooks area.
yeah.
I used to hunt this whole area with a 22. Had a single shot cooey. I could shoot anything in the air and kill it. One shot.
Wow.
Didn't matter if it
Well,
was a
'cause you
duck
couldn't
or
waste-
whether it was
you
a
couldn't
pheasant
waste a
or a
bullet.
partridge.
No,
You know how
no,
a partridge
didn't need
goes
to
this, and the
blast
pheasant
them.
goes zoom.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was food, right?
That's
That
true.
was food on
So
the
when I
table.
started hunting with a shotgun, I was kind of like using a scatter gun.
Oh, how come all those ducks are falling out of the
Exactly,
sky?
yeah.
Even the
Yeah,
geese
maybe.
flying over, and I'd stand behind the barn so the game warden couldn't shoot me.
Yeah.
We ate everything. There was
Yeah.
nothing wasted.
Well, you,
No.
yeah.
Even the feathers were used for pillows. and
Yeah, of course.
that kind of stuff. So nothing was wasted.
Did you ever raise tame ducks?
Any which?
Tame ducks? Did you ever raise tame ducks? No.
Used to
I
be
think-
enough down on the lake there. We used to just fall
had
of the
enough.
year, go out there and ping,
Do
ping,
you have
ping.
enough ducks to eat? Just
Wait
off
until the
the-
game warden would be gone home after just about dark.
Pick off a few?
Pick out a few of
Oh,
them.
gosh.
Go out with no waders. Used to put on a pair of old pants and wade out on the lake.
Oh, you didn't have a dog
Picked
that
them up?
would retrieve
I
for
was
you?
a dog.
Oh.
One more job.
Yeah.
Now we had a dog. Webster was the old dog we had,
Oh, yeah, but he wasn't
but
a
it was
water
partially
dog.
wolf.
I was gonna say he wasn't a water dog.
No.
No.
In fact, trying to even wash him was something else because
Yeah.
he used to.
It's only water dogs
Yeah.
that like that kind of stuff.
Kind of thing, yeah. Yeah.
So I've had some interesting times over the years.
Yeah, you've been a busy boy, yeah.
Well, thank you for that, Dave. and
Oh, you're more than
Ray.
welcome.
That's
Oh.
been fun. Great stories. I'm just enthralled with.
And when I hear people say, "Oh, I can't do this and I can't do that,"
Yeah.
I'm going, really? You're not going to get any sympathy from me.
I know. So,
I was gonna say, if you, yeah, you can cut it off.